Okay, so yes, good morning, students. Okay, so now we will start with a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Sources of Energy, right? So now, first, before starting the chapter, you all must have heard about the law of conservation of energy in your previous classes, right? So, what do you mean by law of conservation of energy? And what is that law? You just have to recall it. What is the law of conservation of energy? You can write in the chat box your answers, and then after, I will give you 5 to 10 seconds to write your answers in the chat box, and then we will discuss. Like, what is the law of conservation of energy? Okay, yes, I can see the right responses. Very good. So now we will discuss what that law is, right? So that law is, as you all mentioned, that energy can neither be created and nor be destroyed. It can just transform, or it can be just converted from one form to another. So the law of conservation of energy states this statement that we just spoke, right? So now let's move on ahead. Okay. So now, if physical and the chemical energies are conserved, right, according to the law of conservation of energy, if they are conserved, then why do we still hear of energy crisis? Why the crisis is still happening? Like, what do you think is the main reason for these crises to happen? Why are these crises happening? If there is law of conservation and we are saying that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it will be converted from one form to another. But energy is still there, it is not getting destroyed, it is just getting converted. So, still, why there are some news of energy crisis? Okay, so now I will give you 5 seconds, you have to think and then answer. And then we will have a little small discussion like why we are still facing the energy crisis, right? Okay, you can see the answer in the screen also, and based on that statement, you can explain it. Okay, so yes, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it does not change its form, right? And not all forms of energy are usable, and it gets dissipated, right? As heat energy or sound energy. So most of these energies are not usable whenever it is converting from one form to another. This is the reason we hear about the energy crisis, right? So now, before moving, this was a diagram that I prepared. What you can see in this diagram, first there is a normal candle here, right? Which is not burned yet. And then we are burning this candle and then we are leaving it burned. So what is happening here is if we light a candle, the process is highly exothermic, means heat is being released, right? So that the chemical energy in the wax is converted to heat energy and light energy on burning. So this is a very good example of law of conservation of energy. Like energy is neither being created nor destroyed. It is just converting from one form to another. Like here, the chemical energy it converted into heat energy and sound energy. Sorry, the light energy, heat energy and the light energy. So this was one of the example of law of conservation of energy. So now we will move on ahead and see some more details about energy, different sources of energy, and we'll see some more details about energy, right? So energy is during chemical and physical processes. What are the different energies that we can see? So first is this example, right? Okay. So the total energy during, okay, before moving into this example, I will just give you a short definition or some short details about energies during chemical and physical processes, right? The total energy during a chemical or a physical process remains the same. But suppose we consider the burning of a candle again, like in this example, as you're seeing on the screen, here we are taking the burning of a candle, somehow put together the heat and the light generated along with the product, right? So product of the reaction to get back the chemical energy in the form of wax. So will we get or not? We will see that energy in the usable form is dissipated into the surroundings in less unstable forms. Hence, any source of energy we use to do work is consumed and cannot be used again. So this was the general explanations of what happens to energy during the physical and the chemical processes and how the energy follows the law of conservation of energy theory, right? So are you all clear with the concept, right? Are you all clear what happens to energy during the chemical and physical processes? Yes. So now I think you all are clear. So now we will move on ahead and let's see some good questions, some curiosity questions. Okay, now comes the curiosity question, right? So what other products we obtain when we burn a candle? As you all know, we are getting energy, heat energy, light energy, but what else we are getting when we are burning a candle? Not only energy, but we are getting something else also. Like we are getting just wax also, we are getting smoke also, like different gases also, carbon dioxide and other gases, right? So yes, these are the byproducts of the burning candle, right? That we are getting from the candle. So now we will move on ahead and see one more question. For this question, I will give you time. You have to choose odd one out among these three options. First is melting an ice cube. Second is dissolving sugar and water. And third is the photosynthesis. So now you have to choose your answers and you have to write in the chat box. I will give you 5 seconds and then we will discuss it. Okay. Yes. Okay, I can see the right responses. Yes, very good. Okay. So yes. So here the odd one out is the last process, that is photosynthesis. Because photosynthesis process, I don't think it is reversible. Yes. Is this the reason? If you have any other reason, you can just comment down below and then we will have a discussion on it later after the class ends. So now we will, I think you all are clear with the concept, what we learned right now, just right now, the first topic of our today's lesson. Yes, what happens to energy in physical and chemical processes, right? So now we will move on ahead and see some more details, right? Okay, so yes. So now what you have to do is you have to give examples, right? From your daily life as we use energy for from various sources for doing work. So you have to give example. You can also give example based on these pictures also. So yes, okay, we get energy from our body. When we move our body, we are getting certain kind of energy from our body. And these trains, they use what kind of energy do they use? They use energies when the fuel is being burnt, right? The petrol or the diesel from which they are running. Okay, and what about these lampposts? Where it is getting its energy from? It is getting its energy from the electricity. So yes, these are the different sources of energies that these different activities are using from our daily life. Okay, so now we will move on ahead and see some more examples, right? Now, energies in our daily life. So first we have to read the small definition that is given. What it is talking about, we will discuss it later, right? So the muscular energy for carrying out physical work, right? The muscular energy for carrying out physical work, electrical energy for running various appliances, like the train was running, and at our home also, like the laptop is running, and many different appliances like the mixer, the fridge, the fans, the lights, they all are running on with the help of the electrical energy. And the chemical energy for cooking food or running a vehicle all comes from some or other sources, right? So we are getting these energies in our daily lives through some or other sources. and we will see in more details what are these sources and how these sources helps us. Okay. So now let's see what are these different sources, and but before that we will solve a curiosity question, right? So this time the curiosity question is, do humans have energy? If yes, then what are those? And if not, why not? Okay, human does have some energy. Yes, they have chemical energies. Yes, you all answered it correctly. What else? What else energy do we have? Mostly we have chemical energy because we take the fuel that we take in is food. So food is giving us some chemical energy, and then this chemical energy is converted into various other energy, right, to perform different functions. So yes, you all answered it correctly. Now moving on to the next question. What are the energies used in the classroom according to you? What different kinds of energy you can see in the classroom? Okay. Uh, for this, you have to write your answers in the chat box. I will give you 5 seconds and then we will discuss. What are the different energies you can see in the classroom? Okay. Yes, I can see you're giving the right responses. Some are saying we can see chemical energy in the classroom. Yes, very good. What else? We can see some mechanical energies also, like the working of the doors. Okay, yes, very good. And we can see some electrical energies also. Yes, very good, like the fans, the lights. Okay, yes, very good. What else? Anything else? Okay, if you find anything else, you can write in the comment box below. We will move further. We will see some more details about energies and different sources of energies, right? So right now in the first part what we discussed is energy during physical and chemical processes. In second part we discussed energies in our daily lives, like from which sources we are getting our energies and in which activities we are using these energies. Now we will see the proper sources from where we are getting these energies. So till now, do you have any doubt or is it clear? So if you have any doubt, please write your question in the comment box. We will wait for 5 seconds and then we will move forward to our last topic for today. Okay. Yes. So I think there is no doubt. Okay. So now we will move forward and see some more details. Okay. So what you have to do is So now what you have to do is consider the various options we have when we choose a fuel for cooking our food. So what are the various options that we have? One is, yes, you have to discuss and write your answers in the chat box. Yes, we just discussed it in the earlier classes that it was LPG, right? We use LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. And what else we are using in the kitchen fuel? Like in the rural areas, we are cooking food through the woods. Yes, we are using wood also. And what else we are using as a fuel? Uh, Coal also we are using. Yes, very good. Coal, and we are sometimes putting a little bit of kerosene in it for burning. Okay, what else? What else we are using? Okay, so now I will give you some pictures, and based on these pictures, you have to give a hint. Like in forest, what we will use based on this picture. Yes, in forest, what we will use? We will use woods. Yes, very good. Okay, so what we will use in a remote mountain village or a small island? What we will use? Okay, this picture is a imaginary situation picture. Like you have to just imagine what we'll use in a remote mountain or in a small island. We can use the solar cookers also here, like solar energies. If we make it, and like if we are living for a longer period of time and we have made this whole solar cookers, then we can use the solar cookers. Yes, right? Okay. So now if you are living in New Delhi, so what you will use? At your homes, not just in New Delhi, at your homes also, which type of fuel you are using for cooking food? Yes, it is LPG gas. Very good. And what if we lived centuries ago? What did they use? Based on this picture. Yes, they use the cow dung, or it is also known as the biogas, right? So these are the different fuels we use at our homes for cooking food. So these were also the different sources of energies, right? So now we will move on ahead. Okay, so let's move on ahead and see some more sources of energies, right? Okay, so now like we could say, we could then say that a good source of energy would be one, which is a good source of energy, which would do a large amount of work per unit volume or mass, right? So this is one of the properties of good energy source. Second is be easily available or accessible. The fuel should be easily available or easily accessible, right? Good source of energy, right? And third is be easy to store and transport, just like the LPGs is easy to use as it can be easily transported as it is in gas form and stored in the cylinders, right? And the fourth point is perhaps most important. It should be economical. Economical here means it should be budget friendly. That only that way we will use that fuel, right? Otherwise, if it will be too expensive, no one will buy it. So it should be economical or budget friendly. So these are the different points that we have to keep in mind whenever we are choosing a good source of energy. What are these points? Like large amount of, it should do large amount of work per unit mass or volume. It should be easily accessible, and third point is it should be easy to store and transport. And fourth point is it should be economical. Yes. So this was all about the source of energy and what qualities it should have. Okay. So after going through the two activities we just discussed, now let's see a different question. Wait, we will move on to our next slide. So the question is, would you choose one fuel for cooking and another for which which fuel you will choose, right? Which fuel you will choose for cooking and another for heating the room in winters. Which type of fuel you will use for cooking? Obviously, the LPGs. Yes, you answered it correctly. The LPGs, right? And what type of fuel you will use to heat the room in winters? Okay. You can also use the electricity while switching on the heaters, or you can use the coal. You can burn the coals, but when you are burning the coals, you have to be very careful because it can cause carbon monoxide poisoning. So be careful while using coal burning during the winters. So now I think you all are clear with the concept. So now we will see some question. One question, right? Okay, so the question is, you have to answer this question in the chat box. I will give you time. First, we will read the question. If you could use any source of energy for heating your food, which energy you would use? Induction, LPG gas, solar cooker, or cow dung? So which one will you use? Okay, yes, I'm getting right responses. Okay. So we will use the LPG gas because it is the most efficient gas. That is why it is used in a very large amount in our homes, right? So we will use the LPG gas. So are you now clear with the whole concepts of energies and its different sources? Yes? Yes. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. We will discuss it after the class. So now it is the time to recapitulate. So first is, there are some questions in the recapitulation part. First question is, you have to give examples of energy during physical and chemical processes. Okay, what were the different types of energies involved? Yes, mechanical energies, and then the electrical energy, the light energy. So these were the different energies involved during the physical and chemical processes. Yes, very good. Now coming to the second point, what are the different types of energies we use in daily life? Okay, What are the different types of energies? Like we use heat energy for heating our bodies during winters. We use fuels, right? For burning, for cooking, and we use light energy in torches, we can say. We use electrical energy, solar energy. These are the different types of energy. Okay, so what is a good source of energy? What were the different properties? Okay. Yes, so yes, the different properties where it should be economical, yes, it should be easily accessible, and it should be easy to transport and store. What else? It should be environment friendly also. So yes, this was all the properties. And now coming to the homework portion. So now what you have to do is a small activity. You have to take a survey with clicking pictures or make a video at your society that what are the sources used for cooking food? What are the different types of energies or sources of energies that are being used for cooking food, right? So now do you have any doubt, or if not, we will end our class here. If you have any doubt, I will give you 10 seconds to write your questions in the chat box, and then we will end our class after clearing it. Okay, so I think you have no doubts. Okay, so thank you for attending today's class. We will meet in our next class and we will discuss some very important and some very interesting topics. So thank you for attending.